All right, Sarah Henderson, lovely to have you presenting with us today. Everyone here in the Author Ever After community, we have a big gang, and you're going to be talking about time and energy allocation. And if everyone didn't notice on the email that you got, grab a piece of paper because we are going to be doing some work and having some fun figuring out some stuff. And Sarah, I'm going to let you introduce why you are the person we should be listening to, and then over to you. I'm going to mute myself now. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Danica, for your introduction. So yeah, time and energy allocation. This is a big topic, and I have actually not presented on this before, but I've worked with people on it. Woo! Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity and the grace to be here today with me. I intend to make this hour worth your time, not just because of the topic, but because our time and our minutes are very valuable, extremely valuable, actually. And I will introduce myself, but first, I think it's important for us to be here. We likely came from other meetings or likely came just maybe not totally present here. It happens to me. It happens all the time. It's just what happens. We're busy thinking about what we have to do, what we've been doing. And I want to bring us here because you chose to be here for a reason. And I don't want you to half-ass being here if you're going to be here. So here you are today. Let us center ourselves. And also a tip that works for me, you guys don't have to, but when I turn my video on, I feel more accountable to what's happening in that moment. When I coach, I turn on the video because it's so easy to be distracted. Again, totally up to you. However, it always helps me, just a little nudge. So let's be here. Let's take a moment to be in this moment. So feel what's happening in your mind. Feel what's chattering there. Feel your body. Notice your body. Notice what feels good, what hurts, what feels neutral. You're occupying space right here, and we are grounding ourselves in this moment, in this intentional space. You wanted to be here, so we shall be here. So imagine that you are very heavy, heavy in this space, weighted to the earth, right here. Notice your breath. Thank you. So Danica asked me to introduce myself, and she said, you know, I don't have your bio, Sarah, introduce yourself. Now, the way I'm going to introduce myself, it's going to be brief, but it's not going to be based on what I've done or accomplishments. It's who I am, so you know who's presenting to you. In brief, I'm a creative. I'm writing a book, and I've always been looking for ways to express myself. My mind has been a chaotic space for me since I was little. Always looking for ways to express myself. I do have ADHD. I think it's a superpower. I'm also a searcher. I'm not sure what the next part of my life looks like, but I'm open to anything. I might be moving to France. I might travel some. I might just breathe in the nice sunshine and air. I'm a searcher. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm incredibly optimistic. And then the next two are related. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I'm learning to listen to my intuition. My intuition brought me to this presentation right here. And often not listening to my intuition is because I'm listening and considering other people's opinions before my own opinions. And that can get us in trouble. And then the last couple things, I'm currently, it's been like 6 months, but I'm healing from a verbally abusive relationship that has shaped me, but I am healing and my light is so strong. It's stronger than it's ever been after that. I love listening. I love helping others. So I became a coach. And as I've also said, I believe I am writing a book, and it is where I am creatively getting out me-ness into that book. It's very cathartic for my ADHD wild mind. So what are our goals today? Let's dive in. Something sparked you to be here. Something stood out to you. Now, if you can think to yourself when you read the description to this event, what is it that got you here? What is it that made you want to be here? Now, sometimes I will ask for engagement depending on time, but this is definitely interactive, and needing a sheet of paper definitely is great. But I will list out some of the things that might have brought you here. You might be wondering, where's my time going? I do things in a day and I just don't know where the hell my time goes. Help. You might want to know, based on my presentation description, like, what gives us energy? Okay, what do I want to do every day to give me more energy? Danica says, I feel scattered and end days feeling like I've not done enough. Thank you for your engagement, because that's another point I want to make in the next slide. It's just that this isn't a classroom, and please, you can interrupt me too. Just speak up, just like say, I mean, we have thoughts, and oh my gosh, there are so many times I've wanted to interrupt people, but I couldn't because it wasn't the norm. Any Hoosers, back on track. And Mia says, my relationship with time is fraught. Mila says, I waste up my energy and time not being productive. Productive is an interesting word. You might have be here because you want to see what's draining you. You're like, something is off, something's draining me. I need help. And then maybe you want strategies to make your day more energetically fulfilling. And Kat says, at the end of the day, I feel like I've addressed everyone's priorities but mine, and then just have to recover in fiction, books, or TV on my phone. Now, these are all great reasons to be here. They're legitimate. You will probably come away with this. But the big picture that I have a hunch is what brought you here is something a little different. It's a little broader. When we value something, but we don't do the things we value, we feel uncomfortable. When we say we're interested in work in family, but we're working all the time, that makes us it makes us feel uncomfortable. We get these negative feelings. And so my hunch that the reason you're here is that we want to align what we say we value, what we say is important to us, and close the gap between the theoretical and actual. We want to ease the negative feelings towards any disconnect we find. Because like I said, what happens? It's cognitive dissonance. It's like, I think I say this is what's important to me, but I'm doing this. We know that feeling. It's very bad. It's discomforting. It's sad. It feels like I'm not living the life I want to live. Also, Erin says, I feel like I'm making progress slowly without an outside reinforced deadline. That's great. I love deadlines. Oof, I need deadlines. Okay, so we're closing this gap. We're going to start to close this gap today. Again, feel free to I love the comments. I love the comments. I gotta say, I love it. Okay, and interrupt me if you want. Now, the first exercise, you've got your sheet of paper. We're gonna say what we value in our life. These are our personal values. These are our values where we can look a little bit more broad. Values, if you look on the left side, the picture's a little fuzzy, but you got like relationships, you got the family, look at that cute little family, you got pets, you got working out, you got love, you got money, you got happiness. These are some things that we might pick to value, yes. And then there is a little bit more tangible and a different kind of way values, and those are on the right. Just some inspirational things that you might value. We're all writers, we're all creatives. I'm guessing that you value creativity, expressing yourself. Put that on there if that feels right. So I've taken up 30 seconds and you might have already started, but I'm gonna time just a couple minutes. Take out that sheet of paper, put on the top my values, and write it out. Family, friendship, nature. What do you value? It's been about a minute, so we'll give you another almost minute. Okay. Now, if we could get some people to say what some of their values are, just put it in the chat or speak it out loud. I'm sure you got voices, right? Tell me. Catherine, you unmuted. Catherine.
Yes, I did unmute.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So, and this actually kind of goes back to why I'm here. I am at a major change, a milestone in my life. And my problem is that I don't know what my values are anymore. They've all changed and been tested, and I need to establish a new set of parameters for going forward. So probably at this point, the value that I wrote down is simply time in terms of what I value most.
What do you want to do at that time? If you could do anything,
That's the problem right there. I have no idea.
Okay. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay. Actually, I'm looking for the chat section and I don't know how it kind of disappeared. But if anyone has said anything in the chat, Danica, let me know.
There's lots in the chat.
Oh, well,
I'll read a little bit out while you find
Thank
it.
you. Thank
You
you.
keep searching.
Cool.
Um,
I'm a searcher.
accomplishing a big goal, finishing a novel.
Oh,
That is
I found it. Look at all this engage. Okay, go on.
you got it. Erin, family, communication, security, knowledge, kindness. Those are lovely. And I'm sorry your longest is homesick again. Mia has got a long list of beautiful things: family, the earth, honesty, ambition, financial and emotional abundance. I love that those are connected. Uplifting others, integrity, gratitude, creativity, art, love, passion, and being in my body. I will let you take over now, Sarah.
Larissa, friendship, family, wisdom. Mila, family, gratitude, education, determination, motivation, mindfulness, love, passion, creativity. Natasha, WA, Katrina, I just decided to read that part. Space to think, creating, moving my body, kindness, feeding my curiosity, relationship with close people, pets, nature. Woo! Doesn't that make you feel good? All these things. And we'll get to soon about just feeling it. So, Catherine, we'll get to feeling what feels good to us when we decide what we value and where we spend our time. So let's consider our values. Let's make sure they're our own. So we have our list of values. Great. How many of them, or how much of them are our own? I say this because it is so easy to have values that are actually other people's values. Now, your guys' list is, but I still want you to look at your list and think about it, because there are so many things that we're told to value. We're told to value and told to do. So what are you supposed to do after you graduate high school or college? I think I froze, but you're supposed to get married. You're supposed to buy a house. You're supposed to have kids. Duh, that's what everyone does. So you have to value it. If you have kids and a husband, whatever, those choices may be your own, but not 100%. And that's inevitable because of societal norms and daily norms. Things like being busy is valued because, oh, look at how occupied and busy they got things going on. Or how do we relax? Well, you watch a Netflix show, obviously. What Netflix show are you on? It's just the dialogue. And the need to buy stuff. It's everywhere. To be happy, you buy stuff. That's one of the formulas for happiness. All this. But I urge you just to look at your list and make sure it's really what you want. Again, we'll go through this a little bit. And I will say, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. I am not married. I do not have kids. I do not own a house. I have lots of time, not like tons of time, but I have built-in time to my day to do whatever I want, to write. I live out of one room and I don't have that much stuff, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. But I did get married and I got divorced. I owned a house right after college, and then I gave it over to my partner. I did have a lot of stuff, and then I sold it or got rid of it. I'm the happiest now. I'm not saying you can't be happy with all that stuff. You can be, but I'm also saying you can be happy without it. So what's the rest of the agenda? Also, I just looked at the comments. Valerie, I own my values. I feel like they've been tested in the last few years and proven to be my own. Amazing. That they almost have to be tested for you to know what they are. Oddly. Danica, my number one value is accomplishing my goals. Now I'm wondering if that's mine or society's. Good question. Pippa, yes, busyness seems to be a badge of honor in many of my circles. We like to say our life is full instead of busy. It's a reminder that we are in control of where we spend our time and how grateful we are with the things we have in our schedule. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we have 35 minutes left. Let's hope I time this all right because we might be rushing at the end. Time is just odd, isn't it? So we are gonna review how we spend our time and see how we want to spend our time. We're gonna do some time circles and get into it. But there are lots of like time management stuff out there, really nitty gritty kind of stuff like, oh, do this, do that, then you'll be able to manage your time. But that can get complicated, and I don't want us to look at it like that. That can bog you down. It's the overthinking mind. But really, this presentation, something to hammer home is we want to use our intuition, not our analyzing brain or what society wants us to want. Now, that's hard, but we got to, again, use our intuition, feel what feels right, and we will get to that in the presentation. Okay. How we spend our time currently. Now, you've got this wonderful piece of paper in front of you. We've got your values, we care about the values, but you're not going to be necessarily looking at them at this moment as you write this down. This is just write down the things you do. You can bucket them however you want, but do it in a week. Look at your day. So, okay, the way to do this best would be review your day, see what you're doing every day, and just write it down. Look at your week. What are you doing in a week? And write it down. Categorize it. This is the work we're doing before we put this, all the things we do into our time circle. So we're going to have a circle with all of the things and the percentages in there. But for now, it's just, what do you do? I will start the 2-minute mark and let me know if you have any questions. One question you might have is, do I include sleep? No, because that'll just be harder for us. It'll complicate things. And I presume your writing is in here. Obviously, that's something you value if you're here. If you're in one of Danica's groups, wild guess, you care about that. So just write down how you spend your time. Been a little over a minute. And feel free to look at your calendars if you're like, what do I do again? Hmm? How are we feeling about this? Are we feeling like we've had enough time? I see some heads are still down, but okay, Thank you for thumbs up. I love it when people show me what's happening in their minds. Whew, okay. We did that. Now, I'm gonna show you my circle just to give you an idea of what I put down, so you just get an idea of what you might want to end up doing here. It's up to you. Now, I had more than 4 minutes for this circle. And the reason I show you this is just, again, to give you ideas. I may have 3 circles, obviously. 1, 2, 3. Look, 3 circles. What? I broke the rules. I put a circle for brand and future and then put stuff in there and then arrowed it down to my current time spent. I listed all the things out on the left. Honestly, that was retroactively, and realized I should have done this first. That's why we're doing it first here. But it just gives you an idea that there's a lot to grapple with sometimes. Maybe not, maybe you got like a few things and life's easy, but me, I got like so many little things happening in my head and things that I do. So it was really good for me to get that out there. Now, we're going to fill in the circle now. And if you're anything like me, it's daunting to fill in the circle with estimated percentages, because you might think this is not accurate, this is semi-accurate, this is half-ass. I don't know. Done is better than perfect, and we just want to get an idea here. So on your piece of paper, draw a circle. I would make it really big because I made mine too small and I couldn't fit everything in there. As you could see, it was difficult. But make a big circle. Big circle. And start filling it out. How I actually spend my time. This is just a sample that I found on the World Wide Web. Thank you, World Wide Web, of how time might be spent. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes, and I'm going to start that now. Almost halfway. Aaron, I see your comment. I will comment in just a minute on that. Thank you for sharing. About 35 seconds left. Tara or Tara is using a calculator. Go, Tara or Tara. Mila says, my time depends on how my kids act. Meredith says, I feel guilty about how much I spend being/doing distracting stuff and my stuff, writing. I hear that. It has been 4 minutes. Just a few quick comments to your comments, Aaron. So lack of consistency. One, I would ask you, are you okay with that? Do you care? Is that great? Do you like your schedule? Because if you do, then just do a couple pie charts based, or a couple circles based on maybe a different day or a different vibe in your day. But if you don't like that, then we got to do a little more digging. And Meredith, we are going to talk about negative feelings that might arise during this, not right now, but just to say, this might open your eyes. Okay, thanks again for the comments. I will move forward. Okay. Now we have the activities or the things that we do in our day, but this part is about getting into the intuition of it, because we're not, second here, second there, minute there. We don't want to go there. We are going to tap into how we actually feel about our activities. We're intuitive beings, so we're going to decide, is what we do energy adding or energy subtracting? So I have a short exercise for you all. If you can just get in touch with your body for a minute and see how you feel as I say the following words. Debt, misery, table, opportunity, and lightness. Okay. Feel free to say in the chat how you felt. I'm going to take some wild guesses about how you felt. We're intuitive beings. You hear the word debt, there's a sinking feeling. Who wants debt? No one wants debt. That's misery. Well, it's in the word. There's a downness. Table's pretty neutral, unless, I don't know, you sell tables, you love tables, you hate tables because you have a bad experience with tables. I don't know. Normally neutral. Opportunity. Ooh, opportunity. Opportunity. Isn't that a good word? It's a much better word than debt. Lightness. Also a much better word than misery or debt. The body feels these things. Thank you, Natasha and Pippa. So Natasha said, for the time circle, I stack things, couple time, leisure and entertainment, creating R&R. Yeah, stack it. Whatever works for you. Pippa for the words with debt. She feels dread, misery, heaviness, table, happiness, place of gathering. I like that. That is an optimistic way to look at a table. You know, I didn't even think a table could be so cool. Opportunity, anxiety. I didn't even think about that. And then lightness, hope. Okay. And then Kat said, opportunity is anxiety for me too. For a long time, I said yes to everything, would be flattered. So I feel cautious about them now. These words are a direct, like how we respond to them is directly from our experiences. Definitely. And then Mila needs a new table. See how much you want to prioritize that, Mila, and then, you know, get a table. Yeah, get a table. Am I the only one who questioned what kind of table? Oh, well, the chats. I don't know. I just said table so you guys could think about what you wanted to think about. Okay, this is just, okay, the next slide is rating our activities continued. So we're all intuitive beings. You're going to look at the things that you do every day. You got them listed, they're right there. Now you're going to rate them. It's real simple. Put a plus if it's an energy adding activity. If you feel good about it, if you, you're like, yes, yes, family time, yes, my work, or maybe you're like, my work, whoo, I gotta get a new job, negative. Ooh, writing, positive, plus, plus, plus. As I said, use your intuition to rate your activities. Feel it in your body. Also, try and clear out the shoulds and look at your obligations with fresh eyes. When I say this, I mean, okay, society says that you should love family time. What if you're going through this and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel a bit of negative about being with my family. Holy crap, what is wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. But this is also a balance. It's not just about the thing. It is about doing the thing, but it's also the quantity of how much you do the thing. Maybe you're with your kid all the time. Too much. How can you make it a more positive experience by trying to get and reach a balance? Thank you, Pippa. I thought that one would resonate. Yep. So okay, I gave 3 minutes. I should have just said 1 minute. I don't think it'll take 3 minutes. So yeah, thank you, Danica. I love reactions. So I will just give a minute from here. Mia's got a kiddo. That's cute, kiddo, Mia. I see a little eye roll though. I feel you. I don't have kids, but you know. Okay, it's been a minute. We've rated our activities. I think that was probably sufficient, so we shall carry on. Oh, Danica said I only have one negative, and I mentioned it, and I was mentioning it yesterday in the book club meeting. I now have an action item related to bring it back to positive. Danica, you're all positive. Well, that is, you're a unique one, probably. I don't know. Maybe everyone else. I don't know. Aaron,
I've been working on it for a long time. I'm not a young woman.
You are a definitely young woman at heart, which is what matters the most. But it is also good to know that you've been working on it. It wasn't by accident. Wasn't by accident. Aaron says, some of these aren't neutral. They're both. I love learning new things, but sometimes learning new things makes me anxious. Okay, that is also a balance thing. That when you're looking at the quantity, maybe that will help you. And also the type of learning matters. Valerie has a lot of combo scores. Interesting. Very interesting. And thank you for sharing. Okay, this is just food for thought. And feel free to put it in the chat. But I knew there wasn't time for like total discussion here, but I do want to bring it up into our awareness. So we've got our values and we've got what we do in a day. Ideally, our values and our time are in direct alignment. You'll love working, you'll work all the time, you love this, it's direct. But as we said, it's not always there. This uncomfortability arises if we're like, I say that I like making money, but I'm not really spending that much time on it. Maybe I don't need, maybe I don't need all the things I'm buying. Who knows? You might go into different thought patterns. So again, feel free to put in the chat, but we don't have a huge amount of time for discussing it. But if you were to rate just in one word or one rating, your alignment between the values you wrote at the beginning and what you do in a day, are they highly aligned? Like, wow, I'm on top of this alignment, or they're kind of aligned, mildly unaligned, and what am I doing with my life? Ooh, okay, I don't know how to say your name. Rochama, I will try, Ruchama. When you're actually an old woman, you find that it's not true that being young at heart is what matters. Values and limitations and the reality that your life is shortening every day make the idea of being young at heart alienating. That is a new thought. Thank you for introducing that to me. And then I see some mildly unaligned or mildly aligned. Okay, we're at this circle, how we want to spend our time. We're finally here. We're getting idealistic. We've got our values. We've got this big sheet of paper. We got a big circle that we're going to draw how we want to spend our time. We're going to have 4 minutes for this. Real quick, I am going to show you what my circle looked like and bring up something for y'all. This was my ideal time spent. Woohoo, yay, 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 yay. I did the thing. I want to bring your attention to something that I did while I was doing this. It's in the bottom right corner. Sarah, you are sad right now. Why? Because you feel like you're wasting time. You did blah, blah, blah. And then I go on to reflect. This exercise was like a little explosion in my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Now, I wasn't totally far off, but it really caused me to reflect when I was looking at this, my ideal and what I actually spent my time on. So actually I gave 5 minutes, and if 4 works, then we'll do
I think we
4.
could even do it in like 3 minutes and then go back and complete it after the workshop is over and like with the space that we've got, to think.
Thank you, because I think we're running a little low. So that's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Danica. 3 minutes, how we want to spend our time. This is just a sample. And this one has sleep in it. I wouldn't do sleep because then it's just complicating things. But the internet gave me this option for y'all.
I'm putting my how I want to spend my time in my permanent book, and my others are on my can dispose of, because I want to keep this one more permanent. Just sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Minute and a half. About 30 more seconds, and then feel free to finish up this exercise on your own.
Can I share what happened as I was doing this?
Yes.
I can't work in a circle. I had to just make a list and then put percentages beside it. And my percentages of how I want to spend my time and energy equaled more than 100. So that was that was really helpful. Like if I put it in a circle, I would have just kind of been bluffing it. But by writing down the percentages in a list, I realized, oh, that's like 140%. Apparently, I have to swap how I'm balancing things to make it actually work.
Thanks for sharing that. And that actually does happen with our estimation. As we know, we are not the best estimators of time. I've actually coached quite a lot of people who we set goals for the week, and I go with what they say the first week. I'm like, okay, let's see if you got this. But then the next week comes around and they have not completed all their goals. And then they're hard on themselves. They're very hard on themselves, even though it's a cycle that happens and I bring the awareness to them. This happened last week. I can see that you're upset or frustrated. Let's hit something more tangible. But constantly people beat themselves up over this, but then they do it again. So just take out the beating yourself up part. Now, we're not going to have time for group brainstorming exactly because there's a slide coming up. It'll take a couple minutes, but if you do want to, while I'm talking, things pop up. Okay, this is my want to. How do I get them together? What strategies? Okay, now this is a big slide. I should have had it go one by one. But I do have some time tips for you. Now, time tips, okay, we're being intuitive about our time, great, but it does help if we use some strategies and some time management things. One tip for y'all, done is better than perfect. It's taken me very long to realize that. In most circumstances, I love asterisks. Determine what's most important and focus on it. Also, I have examples of all of this coming up in my own life. Review your to-do list and see if you even need to do it all. What happens if you didn't do that? I had a thing on my list where I was going to ask for a refund for 3 months of $5 that I thought I canceled, but I didn't. And so I had it on my to-do to reach out to them and get my money back. And I was like, you know what? That's like a task to switch to this, which is going to be a lot on my brain. And I got ADHD and it's hard to task switch. So I'm just going to not. And I just like put it away. It was great. Didn't do it. Oh, Pippi, you love Toggle. Cool. Bill Gates famously said we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what we can get done in
10, I meant in
10. 10. I assume it's similar. Yes. Yes. And then Toggle. Yeah, we overestimate. So a tip is to overestimate the time it takes to do something. Also, use an app like Toggle to track your time. If you look to the right, I came across this. It looks like Pippa likes it too. It's free. It's free. You download it, you just click go when you're going to do something, and you put it in a project, and then you're in that time, because time could just fly by, you don't notice it. But here it's like groups. Like I could see how much time I spend on my book in a week. I could see how much my website material, how much time I'm outside. I love Toggle. Okay, then do similar things all at once. Don't have time, delegate it. Now I'm going to use a case in point for all of these tips, because we all love examples. Oh, and here's a nice quote for you to revel in. There's nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should be not done at all. Okay, case in point. Time tips with my website. All right, I'm going to switch tabs somehow real quick. Hang with me. This will go fairly quickly. I think we're almost done. Let me share a different
Screenshot this. That's a good thing. I'm going to do that. Just screenshot this.
Shot it, have parties. Okay. Zoom. Currently sharing. I'm going to click stop so I can click a new tab, which not giving me that tab. Oh. Okay, here we're good. I think we. Okay, we're almost out of time. I got this. Got this, sisters. Okay, just real quick. I've got my slides here for my own. Done is better than perfect. My website is done, but it's not perfect. I still have Sarah Writes Romance as the URL. I decided I'm not going to change it to my Sarah Coaches and ADHDs before I get to this presentation. It's too much. I also decided to prioritize this. I didn't write this week. What the heck? I worked on this presentation. I'm totally okay with it. I chose to prioritize the presentation and prioritize making sure my website was good. So those are a couple examples there. Also, I could have added, I have a testimonial video I could have added to my website, but I thought, no, I just have the testimonials, and you know what? It's good enough this way. So I prioritized different things. Also, this picture is me in the house with the light in the back. I chose not to get a better picture because it would have taken up too much of my dang time. At least 30 minutes. Okay, and then using an app like Toggle, I used it for this presentation and for my website. Now, another time tip was, okay, the reason I bring up my website is because it's an example for this, but also our very own Erin Jones created my website, and I've been working with her for like a month to make this good. I feel like it's in a place to show it to others, but I'm gonna make it a little different. So one time tip is, if you don't have time, delegate it. I delegated my website. I'm very happy about it. It was worth it. And before I give you her information, I have one other tip, which is, if you have time to do something, okay, you see my screen, right? Am I here? Okay, cool. Also, grouping similar time things together. Now, this is where I'm going to briefly sell myself. Say that you like what I'm saying here in this presentation. You're like, Sarah's got a lot of cool stuff to say, and I love doing this energy circle, but I would love some help. I would love to get my values aligned. Don't put it off if you want to have a call with me. It's a free 30-minute call. Do all your items at once. Don't delay. I'm really not a good salesperson, but I actually really think I could bring people so much value. So if you go to connect, actually go to work with me, book a free call, you click on book a free call, and look at how easy it is. It's free, and don't think about what you can lose, think about what you can gain. You can learn about me on my website, which is right here, Sarah Writes Romance. And it is by our very own Erin Jones. So feel free to connect with me there. I know that we're at time. The last thing that I have to say is to bring it over to Erin. I have a slide for her, which I'm going to share. But Erin, if you want to say anything about your website, I'm going to share your slide right now. But I worked with Erin. She was very helpful with my website. Any small thing, like, can you tweak this font, this picture? She was there for me. I really appreciated it. So Erin, if you want to talk for like a minute about your website design for authors. And I'm sorry that over time, I try to respect everybody's time. If you got to go, you got to go. I understand. But we'll just be a couple minutes. All right, Erin, go.
I'll keep it short. Can you hear me?
You're good, Erin. You're good.
Okay. Let me start off by saying that the number towards the bottom where it says price, and that is inaccurate. I was tired when I sent the details for this slide over to Sarah, and so I have a deal with Danica that anyone from this group, from Author Ever After, I will design your website for $250. Only the 5 pages. But if you are interested in getting your website designed by me, it's $250, and that'll be it. The detail, oh goodness, I had it all in my head and I got flustered. Okay, my website, Kiss and Tales, because Meet Cute web design was already stolen. That would have been perfect. But Kiss and Tales works. It's gonna be both an informative site and for website design to sign up for my web design. The blog, when I get going, is gonna be about, each blog post will be about one particular topic, not overly long, but specifically how it relates to authors and romance authors in particular. So, homepage, what do you need? Contact me. What do you need? What's the best setup for that? Later on, it'll have like tips and extra details to make everything run smooth. But that's going to be the main focus of my blog. I'm going to have a newsletter with tips and tricks. If there's any new legal stuff that comes out regarding websites, I'll pass it along to you. Do keep in mind that I'm not a legal person at all in any way, shape, or form, but I'll pass along what I know. And then if you would like to book a web design project with me, then my site does have a coming soon page. Not up fully just yet. I ran into a technical difficulty. But you can book, you can sign up for my newsletter there. You can sign up for a 25-minute call. And the website itself is kissandtaleswebsitedesign.com. So I hope that was coherent.
Yes. Bam. So I'm gonna put in the chat. I realize you guys have been seeing my screen. I'm trying to get to the chat function. So you've been seeing me toggle the heck around here. But I wanted to put her website Oh, thanks. I wanted to put, well, the website, Kiss and Tales. Can you put your website in the chat?
That's what I was
Yes,
gonna say.
Meredith,
In the chat.
run. Thank you all. That's really all I had. The last was like if we had any time, which I even wrote that we probably wouldn't have time in the description of that.
Sarah. Hey, for a very first deliverable of a workshop, fantastic. 10 out of 10, all the stars. Thank you so much. It was, I learned a lot. I really got a lot. It was, thank you for starting with the grounding. I know it's only 9, it was only 9 o'clock here, but I was already jangled. So that was really lovely. Erin, thank you for sharing that. I think website by design, well, website design, there's a typo there, but we will get that right. Sarah, Erin, everybody who came today, thanks for showing up. I'm going to stop recording.